What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will show you my full support sword and shield build for Savage Omega fight so that you and your teammates will cart less than you usually do. But before we jump up to the build, I just want to take note that this is not a guaranteed win against Savage Omega. It still depends on the whole team's capability and damage output, especially on the near Scylla phase. But at least with this build, you can amp up your chance to succeed to at least 25%. The remaining 75% depends on the other 3-player. Or I say one less noob to the team, hahaha, just kidding. So let's head on to the build. First, let's talk about the most important skills that you need to have in order to pull this off. Of course, wide range level 5 to share your item usage on your teammates, free meal level 3. You will heal a lot on this fight, so having free item usage is definitely a must-have. Speed eating level 3, drinking those potions takes ages and speed eating will help you solve that problem. This next skill is, I'm not sure if it also affects your teammates or it's just you. But still, I put it on the build since it also helps a lot. And what I'm talking about is recovery up and recovery speed to amplifies the effects of potions and also to speed up the recovery process. Next skill is Divine Blessing level 3. Oh my god, I can't stress myself enough how this skill always saved my hunting career from MH World to MH Rise, and now here on Wilds. I will not go on in any builds without this one. Having that chance to negate damage and live on some of the monster's fatal attacks helps a lot, especially for a casual player like me. And last but not the least is Guard Up level 3. I failed so many times on Savage Omega, and I learned this the hard way. And I can say that guarding majority of Omega's attack is more viable, compared to dodging, especially if you have Guard Up level 3, which allows you to almost block any Omega's attacks, including the one-shot beam that always caught me off guard from my previous fights. Now that we're done with the important skills, let's go to the armors and equipments that I'm using. For the headgear, I'm using Blango Helm Beta with 1 Protection Jewel and 2 Friendship Jewel. For the chest piece, I'm using the Arc Vulcan Mail Beta with 1 Protection Jewel and 1 Medicine Jewel. For the arms, I'm using G, Arcveld Vambraces Beta with 3 Satiated Jewel for that max level free meal. For the waist, I'm using Damascus Coil Alpha with 1 Protection Jewel and 1 Recovery Jewel. And last but not the least is Udra Miragreaves Gamma for the leg with 1 Recovery Jewel. For the talisman, I'm just using my best roll talisman up to now with jewels that will add up to the important skills I've mentioned earlier, but this is purely personal preference. Since we all have different rolls in our talismans, just make sure to have all the skills I've mentioned before as much as possible. And as for the mantle, I'm using the Rocksteady mantle for more survivability and durability. Finally, let's head to the weapon choices. This is where I'm going to compensate my lack of damage in this build. For my main weapon, I'm using the High Lagia Sword from Lagiacris Weapon Tree to dish out Thunder Element damage since Omega is weak to Thunder. Aside from that, it also comes up with 2 levels of Offensive Guard and Convert Thunder Resistance for bonus attack damage. The jewel that I'm using is Shield Iron Wall level 3 for that max level guard up, because as I've mentioned earlier, blocking will be the bread and butter of this build. For the level 2 slot, I'm using Razor Sharp 2 for sharpness management, but feel free to replace it if you think sharpness is a bit less of your concern. And for the last slot, I put Guardian Jewel to max out the offensive guard skill, which gives a whopping 15% damage increase when activated, and trust me, this skill will be active 60 to 70% of the time since we're always going to block most of the time. For my secondary weapon, I'm using Corona from Rathalos Tree for that fire element damage. The only use of this weapon is for the Nursilla clone fight. That's why all the jewels that I've slot in is pure offensive, Razor Sharp Handicraft, critical boost, attack boost, but again, feel free to replace Razor Sharp if sharpness is not an issue. For the item loadout, it's a pretty personal choice on what do you want to bring. Hot drink and potions are no-brainer, of course. Buff items depends on how dedicated as a support player you want to be. But the items that I highly recommended you put on your loadout is Cleanser to immediately remove the freeze on Omega's ice attack, in which many players are always get caught off guard. And the other item is the Soul of Pictomancy that you can get when you started this quest. The damage output on this skills are pretty solid, especially the final level, which is Mog of Ages, which usually range from 900 to 1000 damage. So now that we're done with the setup, let's head on to the fight. Now, I will discuss some of the few tips that you need to do with this build. First, and the most important thing, is to watch out your party's health bars. Your main role in this build is to make sure that no one is dying, including yourself. So heal anyone that's in danger. My general rule of thumb for this is when someone has taken a small damage, I always heal it up with normal potions. And when someone is around half health, I immediately heal him with Mega Potion, since you can't let anyone to have below half HP on this fight, since Savage Omega has a lot of one-hit potential attacks. Next thing is block majority of the attacks. The reason why we max out guard up is to block majority of Omega's attack. He has a lot of attacks that can surely caught you off guard, and blocking it is way easier with just one tap away compared to dodging in, which you can also get punished because of how big and ridiculous this bitch's AoE attacks is. Another tip is when you get targeted by Mustard Bomb, make sure to lure it away to your teammates and bring it somewhere far so that your battlefield will not be filled with fires. And my god, the damage coming from these fires are no joke at all. Savage Omega has an insane 180,000 health pool, so playing pure defensive is not going to work. So we must be offensive too at the same time. For attacking, just focus on the back foot since it's weak to slash damage, and we're going to use our sword almost all of the time. Take note that don't use long combo attacks such as Perfect Rush because you might get locked in on that animation and get punished. Remember, you always need to be ready to heal anyone, anytime. What I usually do is just always use the normal triangle, triangle, triangle combo, or circle, 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 then triangle plus circle, spinning Reaper combo, and if I think I can still extend the combo, I always follow it up with another hold triangle plus circle for the charge chop for more DPS. Another thing you can do is use your Pictomancy time to time, since it has a 30 seconds cooldown. But take note that this skills has a long wind-up animation and can easily be interrupted, so timing it perfectly is a must. Special mention, I always hold a Mog of Ages Pictomancy before the Nursilla clone, since that fight is a real DPS check, and you need to dish all the damage your team can get to kill it in time. That's why I always reserve some Mog of Ages for that fight for an instant damage. That's all for this video, and I hope it helps you defeat this dumbass garbage robot. Hahaha. Let me know in the comments section. I would love to hear it. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell for my future uploads. Before I end my video, I will show you a full Savage Omega hunt with this full support SNS build. I will just speed up the video a little bit so that it will not take that long. Thanks again for watching and see you again next time.
Guess I'm on guard duty.